Tonight, we're going to talk about the movie The Trial of the Chicago 7. This movie's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. He also wrote and directed Molly's Game. He's written a lot of stuff that you've heard of. A Few Good Men, The West Wing, Charlie Wilson's War, Moneyball, The Social Network, Newsroom. He definitely has a style, and The Trial of Chicago 7 fits inside that style. This movie has a lot of good actors in it, so let's get started. Eddie Redmayne, Alex Sharp, Sacha Baron Cohen, Jeremy Strong, John Carroll Lynch, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Mark Rylance, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ben Shenkman, and Frank Langella. This movie sees 8 people on trial surrounding charges that are brought by the Justice Department dealing with an uprising at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois back in 1968. So getting down to brass taxes, is this movie good? Yes, it's good. It's got really heavy actors doing really heavy acting in the movie. But it does follow Aaron Sorkin's style of the smartest people in the room are always the ones doing the talking, so you're going to get a lot of that. This movie starts off with 8 people on trial. I know it's called The Trial of Chicago 7. One of the defendants, Bobby Seale, actually had his case severed from the rest. A mistrial was declared for that particular instance, and his trial would be conducted later on. The judge declared that he had too many outbursts and actually had him bound and gagged in the courtroom. Now, in the movie, that only happens for one day. In real life, it happened over the course of 4 or 5 days. And it was just way too hard for the jury to kind of separate this. He became a sympathetic figure, and the prosecution actually requested that to happen so that it wouldn't look favorably upon these defendants. A lot of what happens in this movie did happen in real life. Now, of course, there are some liberties that are taken. A lot of the speeches that are given, although maybe they were given, maybe weren't given by the people who actually gave them. But that's Hollywood. That's what they do, right? They're trying to tell the story. It is based on a true story, and they're trying to elicit some emotion. And for that, they do a really good job, which is why I do recommend the movie, because it does have these really good actors, and they are doing some really fine work in this movie. Aaron Sorkin, this is his second movie that he's directing, and he comes in and does a really good job. For a courtroom drama, the pace is good. You never really get bored. The only thing is you know what's coming. The movie doesn't give you any surprises. It finishes exactly like you would expect it to finish. For that, I'm actually going to give this movie a 3.5. I don't know if it could have scored higher because it is telling a story that already happened, even though I wasn't aware of this story, which is why I do recommend watching it. Especially with what's going on in today's world, movies like this are important. Because it happened in 1968, we're talking something that happened 50 years ago. And as they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. We keep hearing the same things happening over and over and over. So movies like this keep getting made to remind us that, hey, this isn't the first time this is happening. Eddie Redmayne and Sacha Baron Cohen, of course, deliver just really heavy performances, and they're really good. John Carroll Lynch comes in as that character that we all recognize, and he just delivers this solid performance. He's a really good actor, and he's in a lot of stuff that you don't really notice until you know who he is. He's kind of like John C. Reilly in that aspect. He's in a lot of stuff, but until you actually know who he is, now you start recognizing him and everything. Frank Langella was wonderful as Judge Julius Hoffman because you just really learn to not like that guy. And it takes a really good actor to just bring you in and just not like somebody. And Frank Langella's hard not to like. The guy is really charming on screen. Once you see him, he just has this halo that just brings you in. You know, he just becomes these characters. And it's a solid performance. Mark Rylance is really good in this movie. And of course, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is playing that prosecutor with a conscience. I don't know if he's got something in his contract that says he always has to be a good guy, but he does deliver a good performance, although it is a character that we've seen from him before. The movie's really heavy in what it's portraying, but it never really delves down into the stuff that's going to make you uncomfortable. So with that, can you watch this with your kids? I don't recommend it just because of the themes and some of the violence that is shown. Now, is this stuff important to talk about with your kids? Yes, of course. To talk about, not show them at such a young age. I know we want to let them know that this kind of stuff is out there, but maybe a little slower. There's still a lot of things that they're going to have to wake up to. So let it be us that ushers them into that and not a movie. Interesting note about this movie, Steven Spielberg was going to direct this, and he actually tapped Aaron Sorkin to write the script back in 2006, 2007 timeframe. Well, around there is when the writer's strike happened, and so the project kind of fell through. Well, Sorkin had written the script, and so now, flash forward to 2019, boom. He's like, well, you know what? I want to tell this story. I'm actually going to direct it myself. So he does. Paramount says, well, we can't release it in the theater, so they sell the rights to Netflix. And now we have a Netflix movie, The Trial of Chicago 7, nominated for Best Picture. Well, that's it for me. If you like the video or you think you learned something, go ahead and hit the like button. And I'll see you next time.